Here's a quote from the Oak Hill's website regarding men and women. Men and women created in the image of God are absolutely equal in essence, dignity, value, and are distinct by divine design as part of God's good created order. Men and women are to have different yet complementary roles and responsibilities in the home and church. As it relates to Oak Hill's church, men and women are both expected to lead. However, the office of elder is reserved for qualified men, which sounds a lot like the Southern Baptist Convention Statement of Faith, which says, while both men and women are gifted for service in the church, the office of pastor is limited to men as qualified by Scripture. And a lot of other complementarian churches have similar phrasing, but that's just a sampling of the messaging. Can I start by saying that I love the idea of complementarity. I love the idea that we're all differently gifted. I love the analogy of the body, many different parts, tissues, organs, each serving their specific function, but all working together. We do not ask the heart to hear or the kidneys to see, but the kidneys and the heart serve their functions which support and complement the eyes and the ears. I love the idea of complementarity. My wife and I figured this out within our marriage. I wash and she dries. She pays the mortgage and I pay the kids' tuition. I tend the lawn and she tends the garden. We don't both pay the mortgage, and I don't oversee her tending of the garden. I could tend the garden, but she's more gifted in that area and more dedicated than I am. She could mow the lawn, but she doesn't want to, and I don't want her to have to. We complement each other well, but our roles are based on our abilities and our willingness to serve the other. Our roles are not derived from gender. I did insist that she bear the burden of pregnancy, but only because I was really busy with school at the time. Or maybe bearing children is a gender-based role, but we both cook, we both clean, we both work, we both parent our children, we both teach the Bible, we both lead, we both follow. Our church's official stance is that as part of God's good created order, men and women are to have different yet complementary roles and responsibilities in the home and church. So we're to have different yet complementary roles and responsibilities. That's fair. That's fair. We're all differently gifted. The left hand wears the glove, the right hand throws the ball. But then it goes on to say that women are excluded from the office of elder. So if we are truly complementarian, then what roles are men excluded from? Complementarianism is suggesting that men get certain roles and women get certain different roles. But that's not actually what happens. In truth and in practice, men can have any role and women cannot. A man is only limited by his qualifications and abilities. A woman is limited by her circumstance as a woman. That's not complementary. That's patriarchal. Men will say that women are represented because men in their lives are considerate. When I go to a leader meeting, I will represent the interest of my wife out of my love and concern for her. And I think that's a lovely sentiment. But let me offer two thoughts. If you are a man and the church leadership was composed entirely of women, up to and including the women in your family, would you feel like the male point of view was being adequately represented? Second thought. Have you ever been to a ministry leader meeting or a business planning session or a prom decorating committee meeting? We all come in with different ideas and different notions, but it is through discussion that we mold individual ideas into a group consensus. Our minds are changed during and by the process of meeting and discussing. I may know exactly what my wife thinks about a topic before a meeting, and I may be able to explain to her why I changed my mind during the meeting. But what happens during the discussion is happening in real time. Our thoughts and minds are adapting and formulating new ideas based on the availability of input present. If only one view is present, then we have a limitation of our vision. Women cannot be adequately represented by men because we are different, because we complement one another. Finally, we've been warned by some men that this issue is too divisive. We shouldn't be confronting such divisive topics. It will make some people upset or cause some people to leave our church. Frankly, I can't think of anything much more divisive than excluding over half of our congregation from leadership and representation. Yes, sure. Maybe some staunchly patriarchal complementarians will leave our church, but this issue won't cause them to leave the church. Whereas we also have to consider the possibility of new ministry opportunities, especially to women who previously refused to engage our church because they knew that they would be undervalued. So maybe this topic can be divisive, but it could also bring unity. A unity like we've never known. A unity that we've never even considered possible.